gone before she'd had time to get over the shock or formulate any plan of escape. By that time, the man in the back with her had already tied her up. He got out, leaving her alone, and the van door shut, and they were moving again. The noise of the engine was unbearably loud. The van would bump and jolt as it went over potholes. Her head ached as a result, sometimes so badly it made her cry. The fear made her cry. Crying made her headache worse, and then it all became pointless, so she would stop for a while and try to sleep in snatches, because sleeping, at least, gave her a brief respite. And she would dream of him, remember, and wake with tears on her cheeks, thinking, this wasn't supposed to happen. Then the shock and fear would kick in, and the whole cycle would begin again. Lou. Briarstone, Thursday the 31st of October 2013, 1400. You look done in, said Sam, putting a steaming mug of tea on the only part of the desk that wasn't covered by piles of paper. Thanks, Lou replied. I feel it. Kind of hoped the makeup was doing a good job of hiding the bags. Anything I can do? Lou looked up at Sam and smiled at her. Such a sweetheart. If there's anything I can hand over, believe me, I'll do it like a shot. Cheers. You know where I am? Sam left and Lou went back to answering emails. Yesterday had been so much better. She had gone out to a stabbing that the newly renamed North Division were trying to palm off onto major crime, but since the offender was already in custody and happily admitting to his offences in interview, she had been able to hand it back to the area DI. Elated at such a rare success, she had even managed to slope off before 5 o'clock, stopping to pick up some food that involved preparation more elaborate than stabbing plastic film with a fork, and had put in a call to a certain dark-haired Canadian senior intelligence analyst. Hey, Jason had said. What time are you going to be done? I'm done already, she said smugly. He was laughing. You're winding me up, right? No, I am actually on my way home. What are you doing? Getting my shit together and heading over to yours, right now. These opportunities didn't come along very often, and while both Lou and Jason knew to make the most of them, perfect nights were over far too quickly. Of course, having such diverting company on a school night meant that she ended up getting only 4 hours sleep, and, as if the world was exacting its horrible revenge for her daring to leave early, today had already been about as bad as it could get. A serious assault that had taken place 6 weeks ago had been somehow linked to the murder a week or so later of a local businessman, which meant the major crime department had inherited a half-assed job from Division and would have to start it all over again to make sure that nothing had been missed. Both cases had been rumbling on without Lou's involvement, and now she was going to have to try to pull the two investigations together with no real insight into where the local officers had got up to so far. If you didn't have an arrest within a week of an offence, the chances were pretty slim that you would manage to get a good result. And so far there had been no arrests and no suspects. A 20-year-old lad by the name of Ian Palmer had been assaulted after a night out. He'd suffered a serious head injury and had been found in the early hours of the morning lying in a puddle in an alleyway in the town centre. He had not regained consciousness, and major crime had taken it on because in all probability he never would. And as for the murder of the businessman, Carl McVey had owned 2 bars in the town centre and a country pub and restaurant called the Ferryman beside the river in Baysbury. He was missing for 4 days before his body was found half buried in woodland about 3 miles out of town. He had been badly beaten and his wallet and phone were missing, so the working hypothesis was that it had been a botched robbery. So far, so good. There had been no forensic link between the two, nothing obvious connecting the victims, other than that one owned a bar that had possibly been frequented by the other. After this morning's meeting, Sam had made contact with the Force Intelligence Bureau to request the latest intel. Meanwhile, the DCs were going to...